My name is Gwynn Murrill. I'm the featured sculptor of the Western Visions 2014 exhibition here in Jackson. My sources of inspiration, besides being animals and humans and birds and other things like that, I've looked at ancient sculpture from different societies over the world, such as Greek, Egyptian, Chinese, pre-Columbian, African art, mostly, that's not quite so ancient. I've gotten interested in how the work that they made translates their society and the spirituality of their society. The forms are as contemporary as any contemporary art I've ever seen. In the Santa Monica Mountains, where I live nearby, I ride a horse up in the mountains and I see these animals on a daily basis, and it just became a subject that I wanted to work in, because at the time when I first started, nobody in this area was really doing much animal art, and it was a good subject to just be able to make something out of wood, which is what I started with, or bronze or marble. I never got tired of creating these sculptures, and I still can do it, and I still want to do it. I've been making sculpture for about 30 years, maybe it's 40 years now. I started out in wood, and I've been working with bronze and marble. And my work has evolved in a way that was kind of clunky in the beginning, and now it's very flowing forms and using a lot of line work, and I call it like three-dimensional drawing in space. I'm very aware of the negative space that's around the sculptures, and I've noticed by looking at famous sculptures and ancient sculptures that the ones that I always like the best are the ones that have a really good use of the negative space. So I aspire to that in my own sculpture. I've always worked with some kind of a form, not abstract, so it seems to me that it's mostly animals and some human figures, and now I'm starting to work with some imaginary figures, which one of them that I'm doing is I call Monkey Man, because it's part human and part ape, actually. So I have a whole series of these pieces that I'm now working on. I feel like wildlife art is beginning to come into the 21st century. I'm not concentrating on the details, I'm really concentrating on the form and the feeling of how it looks out in space. And I've noticed that when other animals see my work, especially if I'm working with dogs and cats, that they look at those pieces as a form, and they're not looking at the eyes. They don't really look at eyes unless they're being aggressive. So I feel like the form is somewhat more interesting, not having so much detail. It's an honor to have my contemporary vision included in this year's Western Visions exhibition.